What up, and welcome to another episode of the Magic Hour. I'm your host, Magic and Dairy, aka MagicLeb. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and follow me on my YouTube at Magic and Dairy. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Emily Grace.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Is this your first child?
This is my second child.
Your second child.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So kudos.
Very, very, very pregnant. Feeling very pregnant this time around.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's different.
It's not. You're not very far along.
I'm not very far along.
No, I mean,
I'm not very far away.
Far away, so that's what I meant to say. Sorry, I am pregnant literate. You're not far away from delivery.
No, it's getting imminent.
Okay, yes.
But it also feels very far away. You get to this point where you're like, simultaneously, I'm so pregnant, could not get any more pregnant, but I'm not pregnant enough that it's coming, next week.
In your comedy.
Sorry?
I bet you used that in your comedy.
Yeah. Oh, at the moment, I'm talking about it a lot on stage because, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. You can't walk on stage and not talk about it.
That is funny and cruel at the same time, the elephant in the room. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl, or you want to keep
It's a baby.
So you want to keep that like a secret until it comes out like a surprise?
We actually do know, but it's a bit of
okay, no.
Yeah, but the first time around, I didn't find out. And it was a magical experience. I really, really loved finding out when he was born, and it was really lovely. And then this time around, we have found out, but it's not like a...
And we're not going to announce it for you people here right now. Okay. All right, well, anyway, congratulations.
Thank
I hope
you.
it's healthy and everything goes well for you. Now, I did some research on you.
Okay.
You did. You've got a bachelor in aviation.
I do not know. I have partially completed Bachelor of Aviation.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking, wow.
Oh, you have done some research.
I was thinking, wow, she's a comic, she's pregnant, and she's an aviator. I mean, what else can you not do?
Well, illegally fly planes is what.
Okay. Right.
No, I have a pilot's license, and I have I did study aviation at uni, and I just sort of fell at a time. I can tell you the whole story if you like.
Well, that's what we're here for, because I'm just trying to understand how you went from wanting to be a pilot to getting interested in comedy.
Yeah, well, they're very different. I guess they come from different parts of my life. So I was studying, aviation, loved it. I loved flying. It was really I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, some people might not, but it was really, really good. It's very expensive. And it sort of comedy came in at a time in my life. So, yeah, I was in my third year. I just finished my private pilot's license. I was struggling a little bit outside of work with some stuff, and I went to the doctor to talk about my mental health, and they actually took away my medical. Which was crazy because I was not like any sort of like dangerous mental health state. And I'd had a breakup and I was living in a share house and it was a little bit like weird. And then I went to the GP to get a mental health care plan, and she actually she was like, I've looked into it. I actually have to write to CASA, the governing body, to say that you're on a mental health care plan and you're unable to fly while you're on that, which is mad. Because what are you supposed to do? Just not do anything for your mental health? And then during the process of sort of going to see us, and like literally I was a 21-year-old girl going to see a psychologist about a breakup and about like struggles with, studying life, which they encourage you to do. And then they like put these consequences. It was crazy. Like looking back, you're like, wow, that seems intense. Like what if you're what if that's your career already? What if you've got a family to provide for and you're like, I'm struggling with something. Yeah. And they're like, well, you're grounded. Like it's crazy. So anyway, I during that process, the flight school sort of changed. I'd gotten a new job outside of that and it just sort of fell. I dropped out basically over that. Even though I was doing quite well at the time, it was like flying wise. Loved it. Working towards my commercial license.
What made you finally take the direction towards comedy?
Towards comedy, yeah. So my now husband and I met at uni, both flying, which is something neither of us do anymore. And we just became like really close friends quite quickly and just loved going to see comedy. So we'd go particularly Fringe every year in Adelaide. If you're in Adelaide, you know, there's just so much. It's almost like a comedy festival inside a Fringe festival. And so we would go a lot. And then we just kept going through the years. So we'd go to see Adelaide comedy gigs at the Rhino Room, at the Arca Bar, sort of anything we could go to. And then eventually we started going to open mics. At the time it was run by Michael Bolly, One Mic Stand.
Which venue was that?
That was at Rhino Room. So that was at the previous Rhino. Like,
how long ago were we talking about when it was run by others?
So this for me was, I guess, 10, 11 years ago.
Wow.
I think Bolly ran it up until, was it up until 2020, 2019 maybe, 2020, maybe even into 21. So he was running it into the new premise when the Rhino Room moved to the new venue, but he'd been running it for a long time. And then Jacob and I and a couple of others, Brooks, John Brooks and Rudy and Bowley all sort of like started working together to sort of run it. And then we all gradually fell off as we had other things happen in our life. And then now it's just Jacob. Well, it's not just Jacob. He has support. But
I guess when you have too many people trying to run a venue or to try to run something, a lot can get lost in communication because everyone's got, if there's so many people, you've got so many opinions and so many suggestions. Do you guys find it like hard to come to a executive decision of what needs to be done?
I think we all just sort of deferred to Jacob quite early on. He's probably was the most motivated to keep it going. And I suppose it was pretty much up until I had my first baby that I was there most weeks. And we'd sort of help each other out a bit. But really it became his night within the first 12 months of us all trying to help him out. But yeah, he took probably the reins most firmly, which was a good thing. Someone needed to. Yeah.
You need somebody to be in charge, somebody that knows what they're doing as well.
Absolutely. And he runs a good night. Yeah. He does a good job. It's a tricky job. So, yeah, he does a good job of that.
Well, I presume it can't be easy to deal with so much and, with an art like that. You got to deal with the talent, you got to deal with the customers, you got to deal with shipping of goods that you have in your bar, make sure everything is stocked, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, so the Rhino Rooms run separately by like Mick.
I don't know how the whole thing works. I thought Jacob owned the whole thing.
No.
I thought he's not just handling the night venue, the setups. I thought he was also running the business as well.
No. So the Rhino Room is run by an incredible by Mick, who's an excellent businessman. So he also has the Howling Owl, who he recently ran it with his partner, who's sadly left us recently, Rachel. So so they run the venues there all the time.
See, I wouldn't have known that. See,
Craig from Adelaide Comedy does the Friday nights. Okay. The Fringe sort of, he runs the comedy side of things, and then Jacob runs just the Monday night open mic. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been in the comedy for 11 years, you said?
So we started going about 11 years ago, and that was when we started. Started going to seeing open mic in particular, and I just sort of sat there going, I could do this. Yeah. I reckon I could give this a crack.
Because I've been to open mics before, even before I got into comedy, and some of them were just horrible. There were some funny people, but there were just some that were just really, really, really bad. And I'm not talking about here in Australia. I'm talking about when I was living overseas. And it's like, these people are just really, 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 they're enjoying it, but they're just not funny at all. And they weren't getting any laughs, but they were on stage. Some of them were getting laughed off because people can be cruel and rude. I didn't want to heckle anybody, but I was thinking, I'm not even interested in this right now, but I'm sure I could do better than this dude. You know? But that didn't persuade me to get into comedy because we were just out having a good time and something was on, and we were just going with it. You know, but the courage that it took, and knowing that knowing they're not doing well, knowing they're bombing on stage, and they're still continuing to push on. I just find that like very brave.
I mean, sometimes you're just working on new material and you don't have it yet, or you've not figured out who you are on stage, or I mean, there's a certain subset of people who are there who don't get it, or are trying to emulate someone who already exists, and they think, I can be this person. But I'd say, yeah, I mean, open mics, it's always a fun thing. And definitely for me, I was like, I want to do this. And we were watching also good comedy. Yeah. We'd go and see the Friday nights showcases quite often. At the time, Craig, who runs Adelaide Comedy, so he was out of the Rhino Room, also the Bar, and another venue or two, Marion Hotel. So we'd go and see lots of really great shows as well.
Are you going to be entering this Raw comedy thing that's happening next year?
So I entered back in, so that was how I got my start. So when I sort of decided I feel like I'm ready to, I feel like I am interested in starting comedy, I want to start comedy, I went along to see a lot of comedy. I spent about a year sort of thinking about jokes I could tell. And like literally over a year, I came up with 4 minutes of
that's fine.
of a set, and I entered Raw. So I was a bit intimidated by just rocking up to one mic or the open mic night and putting my name down and getting up on stage, because you were encouraged to bring, which you still are, encouraged to bring a couple of friends. Bring a couple of friends, we'll put you on stage.
Was that your first comedy experience?
Was Raw.
Yeah. Experience?
So I thought I'll just pay the whatever it was fee to Raw to enter a heat. I won't tell anyone about it, and I'll just rock up and see how I go. I did end up telling people, and I did have friends come, which I highly recommend. It does.
People don't have to pay for it now, though, do they, when they enter Raw?
I believe there's a register. It's not a significant fee.
No.
There's no fee? But there may not be a fee.
Well, what I do know the rules are that you can't enter more than 3 times.
Yeah, so, and you can only be in the state final twice. So I won my heat. That was my first ever gig. Got up and did the heat, and I won the heat and was in the state final.
Okay.
And then I just started getting booked. And then I wasn't doing comedy. So I entered the heat, did my... You have 5 minutes. I did 4 minutes, which I definitely recommend.
Up to 5 minutes. You don't have to do the whole 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And people often go and try to fill the 5 when they don't have 5 minutes of material. Yeah. Which I do, if you're new and you're starting, if you don't have 5, if you've got 4 good minutes, if you've got 3 good minutes, do your 3 good minutes and get off stage. Leave people wanting more rather than being like, oh my gosh. Whatever.
I'm one of those comedians that has 7 minutes. And how am I going to cut this down to 5? You know, because I've always been used to doing 7 minutes. Because 7 minutes is the average time, especially in the Gulf when I was doing comedy there. They give every comedian 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes is a good...
No, 7 minutes is like the average time.
Yeah.
You know, and like 5 minutes, I mean, I can do 5, but I'm just used to 7. So, and I've always written material to last that 7 minutes. So when I get told you only got 5, I got to scratch this joke, got to scratch that joke. If I scratch this joke, then I can't make a reference to the other joke that relates to this joke, so I got to get rid of that, and that's 2 minutes gone. And I was like, okay, but now it feels empty without those 2 minutes. So I have to rewrite my entire style just to fit into those 5 minutes. Because my first time at the Rhino Room, I didn't realize I exceeded the 5-minute mark, which I found weird because many comedians before me that went up there were up for 10, 12 to 15 minutes. And they didn't get, you know, and even though the light was shining on them, they managed to finish that set. So when I went 1.5 minutes over, they cut off my mic. And I was really angry because I was just about to finish my set. And they cut me off 30 seconds earlier. And I was like, why? You went over the limit. But you had 3 other people that went over the limit. You did nothing about those people, you know? So, I mean, I didn't hold it against them. It was my first time and I didn't know the rules exactly.
Yeah.
Because they said that we'll give you a bit of wiggle room. So I thought that extra minute would be my wiggle room, and it just didn't turn out that way. But it was all in good. So you got into the state final. That's pretty awesome. I wanted to enter this year. I did enter this year, but I decided to pull out.
Oh, really? Why's that?
I feel, and not that I'm not ready. I am ready, but I feel like I could do better. And I really want to do better. And I also feel that compared to what I saw last year, there were some really good comedians and they did not get picked. And we saw comedians that were extremely funny that should have gotten picked but didn't get picked. And a lot of us were talking about, why did this happen? Why do you suppose you think this happened? And people are saying, oh, maybe it's because of the judges, or maybe it's because of this, or maybe it's because of that. Like, I was thinking, are they not basing it on who was the best, or are they basing it on who they like personally, or are they basing it on another motivation that we don't know about? Like,
I can say, as someone who's judged quite a few times, that we definitely are taking note of their actual set. Are they prepared? What are their jokes like? You know, have they just gotten up and decided to chat? You know, have they gone, I'm a funny storyteller, I've got a funny story, not rehearsed it, that sort of thing. So have they come with a prepared set?
Yeah.
Is it funny?
Yeah, of course.
Their stage presence. Sometimes you can just be like just there's something about that person. I'd say, because I'm around in the scene, I generally know probably 50 to 80% of acts on a night. But I wouldn't, I know that I don't let personal relationships be in that. And as judges, we're very much encouraged to not do that, but we will talk about how we've seen them develop through the year.
Yeah.
So, or through the past, however long we've been seeing them on stage. So we also look at the audience reaction. So how are they getting laughs?
Yeah.
Are the laughs consistent? How did they structure their set if they put their, best joke at the end and left on a high? If they've run the light, particularly if it's more than a minute, if they've gone over, that can be an indication of. Oh, I wouldn't say it's a automatic no, but it's part of being in the industry is being respectful of the time.
No, of course. No,
so there's that. There's all sorts of factors.
No,
and then
I believe if you follow what's required, because you need to be. Everybody needs to be fair with everybody else. It shouldn't be fair if one person was allowed 2-3 extra minutes, for example.
Yeah.
And the other person. I don't know, they don't want to have a repeat of that one that went longer, so they had to cut the other one shorter if they went over or whatever. The thing is, everybody should stick to the rules. I'm very meticulous when it comes to rules because I like to stick to them myself. We always, I remember before the show, there was a person that gave us these rules. He goes, you got this much, you got this long, all right, you got 5 minutes. The maximum we'll give you is 5:30. That's the maximum. You go out to 5, you get to 6, we're going to start flashing the light. If you get past that, we're going to cut you off. They made it very clear. So I didn't want to get cut off because I remember that feeling. Yeah. That wasn't even in the competition. That was just an open mic. And it was a horrible feeling. I don't want that to happen on an actual competition night. Yeah. So I think when it comes to competition, everybody should be, how I would say, on their best behavior when it comes to following the rules. Yeah. And it is it's not... There's always comedy's very subjective. So the judging can be really quite, the judges all sit down the back. I don't believe Fred's running it anymore, but Fred, who was running it up until last year, I believe, or maybe the year before, we'd all talk together about who we thought and why. Usually there's a couple of standouts on the night and we'll say, yeah, this person. The biggest indicator for those big standouts is generally going to be the audience reaction. Mm-hmm. Someone can say the cleverest, funniest joke. We think it's, oh my gosh, they are an amazing joke writer. Have a bad delivery on the night. Yeah. And it falls a bit flat and the audience doesn't get it for whatever reason. It doesn't land. And you go, oh, it's a real shame. I'd love to see them do that set again. Yeah. Tonight they just didn't really shine. Yeah, it really does. It also depends on that particular moment, that particular performance. It does. There's a lot of, sometimes there could be a lot of pressure built behind it. especially for those who have that motivation. I have to win. I got to win. I got to make sure I win. I mean, I actually feel that would probably ruin one's motivation to do well if they're eyeing the prize and not eyeing their own set. You know, I think that could make a big distinction of doing well or doing poorly.
Comedy is about pleasing the audience. It's not about pleasing the back of the room. It's about making the audience laugh. It's bringing the audience with you. It's being funny on stage. I mean, there's a lot of pleasing the back of the room. We love to do it.
Okay.
But it's not if you're really clever and really funny, you're going to please the audience.
Well,
it's not about trying to be the cleverest person.
So.
But,
I do believe so. Yeah.
You know, an audience is going to laugh at a well-constructed poo joke more than they're going to, just as well as they're going to laugh at a well-constructed political joke. And it does depend on the particular audience.
No, of course. No,
so, yeah.
I once did a set where several times where it did very, very well. And with one particular crowd, it didn't do well at all.
Oh,
you know, again, demographics or whatever, you know, it could be tricky. And I've had that problem before, and I just hope that everyone does well this year, and they just give a big dynamite show. But as long as they are, I'm a real heckler when it comes to fairness, because I have seen some unjust. I'm not complaining that I didn't win. I know why I didn't win. Because first of all, I was just there because I wanted the bigger crowd.
Yeah.
Because it's an opportunity to have a bigger crowd. And I was trying my new material on the bigger crowd. I didn't try my material that worked everywhere. And I was going to do that this year. I said, no. You know what? I want to add to it maybe next year. I want to give it another year. You know, I want to see new people come, and I want to see new people become judges. I want to see. I just want to see a new wave. You know, because you know how you feel energy from people. You feel something positive. You feel something negative. You feel something that's off, or you feel something that's on. I'm not feeling it right now. If that makes any sense. You know, I'm just not feeling it from the people and the ones that are involved. So I figured, let me wait another year or so. Maybe I get a better feeling. Maybe I get a different feeling. And because if I'm going to jump in on this, I want to jump in on both feet, feeling 100% like this is the moment. And
Raw is something like it's an amazing. It's been around for a very long time. I mean, I did it 10 years ago, and it had been around for a long time then. I don't know exactly when it started, and it's a wonderful thing. Like it gives people a really great in. For me, I wouldn't be still doing comedy if Craig hadn't seen me win that heat and start and go on to the state final and start booking me to do showcases at the Rhino Room and participate in the community. And that just sort of got, oh, hey, you did Raw. Hey, do you want to do these 3 gigs over the next month? Oh my gosh, you're asking me to do gigs. That's amazing. You're sort of on the roster then. Not that happens exactly for everybody, but for me, like it was a foot in the door in the Adelaide scene. But it's not the be all and end all either. It's probably not as big of a boost as it used to be. And
why do you think that is?
Oh, there's just different avenues for getting your foot in the door now. I think stage time's always been important. And the thing with Raw was it could be a boost if you used it, particularly for people who were winning the state final and going to the national final and the national final winners. If you could win the national final but not go back the next week and start doing more gigs and really work and expect just to get booked on excellent gigs and not continue the grind and the work and the 10,000 hours. Yeah. Who, may not have great results.
But that's what's great about a place like Adelaide. Like you can, if you can't get into a certain venue, you can always create your own.
Yeah, I think that's true in many, many places. Yeah. Adelaide's a weird one because it's so the audiences are so small.
Yeah. Adelaide's tiny.
It's small. Yeah.
So.
Although sometimes I look, you go see a bigger performer who's, a national or international artist come and fill out a Thebby theatre 2 or 3 times. And then you go, oh, there's, thousands of people here who have an appetite for stand-up comedy. I'm doing a gig at, Rhino Room tomorrow night with people who I consider to be some of the best comics, certainly in South Australia, perhaps nationally, and I think there might be, 50 people there.
Well, it's still something.
Yeah. So but yeah, lots of people will start smaller rooms in Adelaide, and I know that people do that in Melbourne and in Perth and in Brisbane, and go, oh, I'm not feeling like the shows that are there are catering to the audience that I want to cater to, or they're not catering to, or they're not booking comics that I think are the funniest comics. So they'll start a room and hopefully we build it up. I don't think there's anyone in comedy at all that would ever not want a good room to succeed, like, or any sort of venue who wants to back comedy to succeed.
Totally.
But it's hard work.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do their part, especially in comedy, especially when you're part of a community with other comics. You want to do your part, which is why I created this show, to be honest with you. And I've only been back in Australia for going on almost 2 years. I've been living in the Gulf for the last 16. And I did comedy there for the last 4 years of my life. I was doing comedy there. And I really got into sketch comedy because the stand-up comedy in Bahrain where I was living, it wasn't so high demanding and it wasn't a big thing at that time. It is now, but back then it was very hard to get a venue, very hard to do comedy. But now it's huge, or bigger than it ever was. But so I started doing sketch comedy. And I was very fortunate because I had a lot of American Navy friends because they're part of the American Navy and they lived in Bahrain. And I always wanted to work with, Americans because I want to work with Black Americans, white Americans, so we can do controversial style comedy. We attacked race, we attacked stereotypes, we attacked so many. And it blew up in Bahrain.
Yeah.
My sketch comedy, in Bahrain, I did up to 46 sketches.
Wow.
I filmed them, produced them, and posted them, and they did pretty well in Bahrain. I had a little fan base in Bahrain. Now that I've been back in Australia, I did 46 sketches in a year and 3 months. I've been back almost 2 years. I've only done 3. I've only done 3 sketches, but I've got so many written. Now, I guess what I wanted to ask you, Emily, is have you ever done any sketch comedy before? On video, like a short film?
Not many. A couple of little bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like available online currently. I don't think so. I've done a few like on stage sketches.
I don't know. But have you ever done like anything like with a script, with characters, with actors, with cameras and lights and stuff like that?
Limited. Yeah.
Are you open to anything like that?
Yeah, always.
Okay. Again, sometimes I bring this up.
Have you got a script for me? Are you gonna?
No. Sometimes I bring this up on my show. I'm always looking for people to volunteer because you can be funny on stage, but can you be funny on film? Can you be funny playing a character? See, when you're on stage, 9 times out of 10, you are either yourself, or you are playing an alter ego of yourself. Correct?
Yeah.
Which is great. All right. And some comedians can do voices, some comedians can do characters, and which is a new range that I also like. But if I gave you a character to play, what can you give that character to make it extra funny? If I wrote a funny character for you right now, what can you as a comedian bring into it? Now, I've asked several comedians like if they want to be in sketch comedy, and 9 times out of 10 I get an answer like, "What's it about?"
Well, the particular what's the particular sketch?
What are you doing? Right? And one out of every 1,000, I get an idiot that's saying, "What does it pay?" And I said, "Dude,
nothing.
Nothing. If I want to pay, I'll pay a professional. If there's going to be money, if we're going to introduce money into this, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to pay somebody I've never seen before. I'll pay somebody that I have seen before. So, but the thing is, I've done 3 sketches. One sketch that involved a woman named Eve, Tenacious D. That's her nickname. And Wee Stew was in that sketch. And I did one with Paul the Black and Ali Dent.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful performance.
It was really good. And so I've got so many written. So the reason why I asked you if you've done sketch comedy or if you're interested in sketch comedy, let me know, because I've got so many written, but never had the opportunity to actually get it done because either people are too shy or people are indecisive to want to be in it, or you're either in all the way or you're not.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to be involved in some sketch comedy.
Yeah, I'm simply trying to establish a team of actors, at least. I also welcome writers, because I do all the writing myself, but I would like to bounce some ideas of other people who have written stuff before, just so we can have some fun with it. Because, on stage is great, but, why can't we have the both of those worlds? Why can't we do that and this? You know what I mean?
And a lot of my interest in my early exposure to comedy came from sketch comedy. Growing up in Australia, I know a lot of people watch a lot. I didn't watch any American stand-up. I'd watch Skit House and sketch comedy a lot. I watched a lot of sketch comedy growing up. Loved it. Yeah. And some of those performers are some the best stand-ups in the country,
I remember as a kid growing up here, Fast Forward used to be a huge thing. That show, Fast Forward.
Yeah, it was a little bit before my time.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, so normally many women don't answer that question. Okay, yeah, that was before your time. I'm old. But my favorite sketch comedy writer is this man right here, Mr. Dave Chappelle, dressed as Prince in this picture. And he's the one that, watching his sketches inspired me to do sketches. Obviously I haven't scratched the surface of what this man has done. But at least he inspired me to at least give it a try. And I found myself having an audience that actually liked what I was doing. Not a big audience, but they liked it.
Yeah.
If you can get people to like it, no matter how big or small they are, the point is they recognize it and they liked it. It makes you feel like, wow, okay, I want to do more.
Yeah.
See if I can reach a bigger audience. Now, let's get to some questions about you, Emily. How do you personally prepare for a set?
It depends on the length of the set, I guess, or what sort of set it is. Generally, I'll have say it's a 10-minute on a Friday night for Adelaide comedy. I would I do that gig somewhat regularly, so I want to make sure that I've got a really good opening joke and a really good closing joke that I know are tried and tested to take up, a good amount of time in the set. And then probably I want to bring something new that I haven't done at that room before. May not always have something that I feel it was super duper confident in doing a new piece of material. So I'd generally structure a set, make sure I have a good opener, make sure I have a good closer, and then in between maybe 2 or 3 newer short jokes.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing I MC fairly regularly. So coming to MC, I like to make sure I've got probably 4 options for starting a set with, as in the first set of the night, the opening of the night, and then if there's 3 brackets. So, I just want to make sure I've got a few good, between 2 to 6 minute bits that I can, or jokes or sets that I can make sure are strong openers to reset the room after a break.
Yeah.
I generally like to, if I'm emceeing, know who's on, try to know them reasonably well. I prefer I listen to music that makes me really happy. I always have some bangers on in the car on the way in.
Do you listen to music as part of your writing process?
No.
No? Do you have a process when it comes to writing, or does it when you're asleep and something happens at 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up, oh, that's funny, and you take a note, something. Does that ever happen to you?
Occasionally, but it never makes any sense the next morning. If I write a note in the middle of the night, I'll reread it and be like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's in actually coming up with the material.
When you're outlining your, when it comes to the writing process, do you write it as in bullet points of what you want to talk about, or do you write it like a script and that you want to memorize so you can, in terms of working on your delivery?
For new jokes, I rarely write them down. Generally, I'll be thinking of something and I'll go and try it on stage. I'll have a premise and where I think I'm going with a punchline, and then I will go and work it out on stage. I'll sometimes write it down. I'll often call a friend and say, hey, I've got this bit. What do you think? And maybe they might give me some feedback or something to bounce off.
Group, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I've literally had a friend be like, that's not a joke, Emily. Or like my husband will often just be like, where's the joke there?
Okay.
And then I'll be like, no, there's a joke there. And then that's where I'll maybe go and write some more. That's where I'll go and write it down. But generally I will have an idea, a premise, and a thought about where the punchline is, or maybe I think I've got the punchline. Rarely do I have the punchline until I do it on stage. Yeah.
Have you ever, or do you ever pick up a comb, stand in the mirror, and practice your routine in front of the mirror?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah. I do it less these days than I probably should. When I do, like, particularly if I'm delivering a longer set or something that I feel needs to be really structured, the more I rehearse it, the better I do.
Yeah.
I forget that all the time, that the more I rehearse it, the better I do. And I just don't rehearse it. And I go, oh, yeah, I know this bit. Or I'll just do it in the car. I talk to myself a lot in the car.
Yeah.
Do it a lot in the car. I do try to record most of my sets, listen to them back and go, oh, you really dropped that. There was a big blank space there that you could just get rid of. That little tag that you added on actually ruined the laugh that you'd gotten before. And sometimes, like, improving on stage can give me a new premise to then go and work on as well. And then there was something funny there that made the audience laugh.
Yeah.
I'll go and work on that, come back next week and maybe say something more about it. But generally I just wait for something funny to happen in my life. I would observe something that's happened in my life, my day-to-day, and then springboard off that into something.
Okay. Now, who would you say are comedians that really inspire you?
Oh. I suppose when I started getting into comedy, like Australian comedians, like I grew up, I just loved Rove as a talk show. So I watched Rove I wasn't allowed to watch it every week. I was a bit young. I used to throw tantrums to be allowed to stay up and watch Rove. And there'd always be the stand-up section. So actually I couldn't tell you a single person that I saw do like a name of a person that I saw do stand-up when I was 9-year-old on Rove. But probably any good working comic in Australia was doing it at the time. Like the first ever DVD I watched was like Carl Barron.
I've been hearing that name a lot lately. He's the bald-headed guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so funny, just so straight. Like I find that in a lot, like I don't know, most of the books I read are written by Australia. Like I settled down into an Australian voice. But when I started doing comedy, we were watching Adelaide comedians, Demi Lardner, Kel Balnaves, James McCann. I went and saw his show every year. Like Adam and I were like huge fans, and that was before I started doing comedy. And then become friends with some of these people. And
terrific.
Yeah, so I can't say there was like any, one or two people that I feel like I took a voice from, or no, that's not the right way to say that.
You could be an extension of kind of thing.
Yeah, I wasn't like, I really love such and such. It's just generally the Australian comedy scene and the Adelaide comedy scene in general was what we were watching.
All right, I'm going to get a little bit personal here. Now, when you're doing your comedy, are you is it who you are, or is it who you wish to be?
I think it's who I am.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of who I wish to be. It's definitely a more confident side of myself. It's a different side of myself, but it's me. Okay. I'm not a character. I don't have any big opinions or anything great on stage to say.
I have a follow-up question with that. What part of your personality do you hide the most in real life, but you reveal it on stage?
Oh, I'd like to say that I hide it in real life, but I probably don't do it well. Is just being loud and in the center of attention. But
okay, so when you're on stage, you're loud and you're the center of attention. Well, you're
obviously you are.
Stage, but you're loud when you're.
But I can sometimes, take it.
Okay. And the final question in the personal department. This is just more like an opinion. This is not like so personal. This is just like I really want to get your 2 cents on this. What's the hardest skill do you find in comedy that people don't realize is a skill in comedy?
Ooh. That's a really interesting question.
Mm-hmm, thank you. I came up with that this morning. Actually.
What is a skill that people, because a lot of people who don't do comedy go, I could never be that vulnerable on stage, or I couldn't do the public speaking. And like people say all the time, public speaking is the hardest part, like one of the biggest fears.
Yeah.
So I think that's well addressed. I think being able to acknowledge both when a joke has gone well and when a joke has not gone well are really important skills to learn at the beginning of your journey. So to be able to be like, yeah, that really hit, and sit and let the audience enjoy it and you enjoy it a little bit and not have to move on straight away, which is something I actually still find difficult to do sometimes.
Yeah. Do you find there's a thin line or a thick line between being skillful and having the kind of talent to take a bad joke and make it great?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just like a natural affinity for a stage presence. But I think, getting up as much as possible, doing as many jokes as possible, but also like not going, I need to have a new bit every single time.
Yeah.
Being able to evolve your joke, like to work through jokes and make them better, which is really hard to do. It's a really tricky thing to do, but when it works, it really is great. So yeah, and I think being able to sit and go, I think there's something funny there, or one or two people in the audience thought there was something funny there, but the rest of the audience didn't. To be able to say like, yeah, there's something there, but where I'm sitting with this joke is not right. The premise might be there, but I need to work out how to make it funny for the rest of the room, because sometimes it is just a funny little joke for you and three people because it's a bit niche or whatever, and that's fine. And you can either acknowledge it or not and move on, and you're like, that's a joke for us.
Okay.
But sometimes you're like, no, this is a joke for I need to find out how to make this joke for everyone. How is everyone going to get my stupid little joke about this? How can I bring it to everybody?
Okay.
I guess that's probably the skill.
Yeah, I
broadening.
a lot of people don't realize, well, at least from the audience perspective, they probably don't realize that what people are doing on stage is a skill at all. Oh, they're just getting on stage and telling jokes. I don't think they.
Oh, that's the best way to think about it.
Yeah, I don't think they see it for what it really is, or how much work people put into it. Like even when you see the grapes, they make it look so effortlessly easy because they're just so good at it. Yeah. And it makes you think like, I can do this, and then you try and go, no, I can't. You're not at all. I think that's when you realize I'm in way over my head here. I've seen Eddie Murphy do this a million times. I've seen Jim Carrey do this a million times. Why can't I do this a million times? And I think maybe if you set the bar so high, because a lot of people who watch major comedians that have major influences, it does give that motivation. I want to do this. I think I can do this. I'm sure I can do this. And then when you think that you've done well, but you didn't do as well as you hoped that you would do, because you're basing all your performance on what you saw, and you didn't really focus on what can you bring. Because instead of trying to bring what others have brought, what can you bring that only belongs to you that people can like the most? Because they don't want to see a version of something else. Unless you are purposely behaving like them at a party that people enjoy because they might like your imitation of them, that's fine. But when you're trying to do that on stage, it's not going to work at all.
No.
I mean, so then you realize, oh wow, there is a skill to this. There is some tools you need to learn to be able to do this. And I think that's when it hits us the most.
And most of that just comes from experience.
Yeah.
I think there's lots of, I mean, there's a million comics in the world who are much more qualified than I to say what those skills should be. But I would say a lot of people would agree that the skills don't, there's every now and then someone's completely like just a natural, just born to do it.
Okay.
But I think most people, like, the more you try, the more hard work you put in, the more it will pay off.
Yeah, well, we all hope. Because we all believe in the theory. The more you put into something, the more you get out of it. And I honestly do believe that. But sometimes it doesn't always work in the way.
Oh no, and I would say, like, I've been doing stand up for 10 years. I feel like I've just started to get good at it in the last 2.
Yeah. I mean,
particularly even this year.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm sure I don't know if you've heard of him, but I'm sure you would have. His name is Bill Burr. Have you heard of Bill Burr?
I have heard of Bill Burr, yes.
Now, Bill Burr, he started out, I think, in mid-90s. And he was still trying to find his stride, I would say. And he didn't hit it big early in his career. Dave Chappelle hit it big early in his career. Eddie Murphy hit it big early in his career. But Bill Burr was getting there gradually, and to the point where he felt like he wanted to give up. But Dave Chappelle casted him in the Chappelle Show. You see him in a few sketches. And Chappelle said to him, listen, you're not there yet, but you're getting there. I'm seeing what you're doing, and you are on the right track. Don't stop. You're not there yet, but you're going to get there, and it's going to be huge. And that's why he didn't stop. And he kept on going, because Dave saw in him what he thought he didn't have. And look at Bill Burr today.
Yeah.
I mean, his journey took 15 years to get to this stardom, to be this popular. But he didn't quit. You said you've been in it for 10 years, and you're now starting to get better at it.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Bill.
And I've not been working that hard at it for 10 years.
Oh, Bill's been going.
I've been doing, I'm lucky if I do a gig or 2 a week. I don't really leave Adelaide very often. I have a full-time job, and I have always had and I feel like, oh yeah, I'm probably a semi-professional comedian. I can book gigs when I want, and maybe it could turn into some sort of career for me, but I'm not expecting it to. And that's sort of like where I am. But I now know that I can show up. I can do anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour of good material and make a room full of people laugh. Probably 90% of the time, probably 10% of the time I'm still a bit shit, or I get it wrong or whatever. But it just takes like a lot of time. And your confidence goes up and down in that time. And
it certainly does.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Emily Grace, answer me this question. If you could do your comedy for any audience in history, which time period would you choose?
Ooh. It's pretty... like maybe the 90s.
90s.
I wouldn't want to go much back further. Probably now. I mean, my comedy is all based on myself now.
3 people have said there's no time like the present.
Yeah.
But that's why this is that's why I asked this question, just like if there was no present right now.
Yeah, maybe the early 2000s. The early 2000s, I feel, maybe. But now the jokes were written now. Mm-hmm. They're about my life now.
Yeah.
I suppose if I'm kind of like putting myself in the 90s and early 2000s when I was like a kid. I'm like, well, I couldn't be delivering this material then. Yeah.
But like the reason why I ask such a question like this is like, it's not just about talking about who you are today and what your jokes are about that are relevant today. It's really more about how the audience has evolved. Like, if you're doing comedy in the 70s, for example, at a time where cocaine was everywhere, people were getting high all the time, this is before internet, before when people always went out and looking for something, looking for fun, looking for a good time, instead of trolling for a good time.
Yeah.
Like that kind of mentality of an audience is not the same as the audience today. So when I asked that question, which audience in that history would you want to perform for who had a certain mentality that you probably think you could appeal to the most?
Yeah. I'd be scared to go much further back than the mid-90s, I reckon.
90s was a clean year. It was a clean decade, I feel.
Yeah.
It was like the last innocent time that we had.
Maybe.
But I love the 90s.
Anything pre 9/11.
No. It's not. It wasn't just about that. I mean, like, the 70s was a great decade. Was the last decade where I believe before USA lost its innocence. Because prior to the 70s, there was a lot of tragedies in the States. They killed JFK, then they killed Martin Luther King, then they killed Malcolm X, and they killed RFK. They killed so many assassinations of some of these great leaders were taken away by killing people that were determined to want a better America, wanted a better world. JFK didn't want to go to Vietnam. But America did, so they got rid of him. We went to Vietnam. You know what I mean? The Vietnam was I think during the Vietnam era is where USA started to lose its innocence because the whole world knew, even America knew, that going there was wrong, the biggest mistake that we could make. But they made it happen regardless, and they had to kill so many people to make sure it got done. And this kind of started the world to see them as. The America, there's still the mountain of gold, there's still the place that I want to go to, there's still the American dream, or is it becoming the American nightmare? It started to decline. And in the 80s and 90s, America started to get good again, right? And then they just repeated the same mistake. And, the thing is, it started to lose its... But the thing, America is an influence to the whole world because they are the superpower. They are. Yeah. They are the leaders. So... whatever they do, if they do something really messed up that the whole world disagrees with, it kind of affects us all as well. I mean, if you're supposed to be the leaders, lead us to a better place. You're leading us to a very messed up place here right now, And so that's why when I say, when you talk back to the 90s, I felt like the 90s was the last second coming of innocence that we had left before it started to get bad again. The 90s was a decade where you could say whatever you wanted. You could make jokes how controversial as you wanted, and people would laugh at that. People would enjoy that. We had sketch comedy shows like In Living Color. I don't know if you ever know that, if you've ever heard that show, In Living Color.
No.
That's where Jim Carrey got his final big break.
Yeah,
it was like a version of SNL, but with a predominantly black cast. It was created by the Wayans brothers. And their comedy was so controversial. It's like, how did you do that? Why did you do that? Oh, I'm so happy you did that. You know what I mean? Like, people today keep watching these clips and I see comments constantly, oh, they can't do this today. Oh, they couldn't do this. They couldn't get away with this today. I'm like, I'm sure they could, but why have we
But it's already been done.
Yeah, but why have we, yeah, exactly. But why have we gone from, oh, I love this, to it can't be done today? You see, do you know what I'm talking about? How the mentality of the audience has changed over the decades?
Yeah, but I also think that things have been done. Like, you just need to be better now.
Yeah.
If you're going to be talking about something controversial, it's got to be really funny.
I still believe you could be as controversial as you could have been in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but obviously not repeating the same joke, but still having the high quality of that controversy.
Yeah.
The controversy shouldn't decline,
Yeah.
We shouldn't turn it down to not offend the sensitive people, that may be watching or not. I believe what is funny regardless of what it is. I think you can make fun of stereotypical people. I think you can make fun of race. I think you can make fun of gender. But if it's done in a way that it's funny, not done in a way that is deliberately insulting.
Yeah, and many people do.
Yeah,
have very successful careers and jokes around doing that.
Okay, now let's get into the second question, which is also part of history. Which historical figure do you think Miss Emily Grace, would make a great comedian?
Ooh. You know, well, I guess she already was sort of a comedian. So I can't really. I was gonna say I would love to see like Marilyn Monroe do stand up.
I think she'd be amazing.
But she already is a comedic. Like she's a comedic actor. She is a comedian.
She done
was
comedy.
Such a character.
She's done comedy, but she hasn't done stand-up comedy.
No,
So
I think
you want to see her as a stand-up.
I would have liked to have said.
Like there are a lot of actors that can do comedy, like Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, he can do. Yeah,
he can do comedy, but can he do stand-up comedy?
Stand-up. He probably can.
Never seen him. I'm sure when he's talking, or when he's got the platform, he can make people laugh. I'm sure because of his natural character, natural ways, and people know him as Hal, and people know him as Walter White, you know. But can he to get on stage for 30, 40 straight minutes and do a special?
And do, good stand-up.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Nick Offerman do an hour-long solo show. Very funny, wouldn't say it was particularly excellent stand-up.
Yeah. But he's a great comedic actor.
Oh, yeah. Like one of the... And again, it was funny. It was a wonderful, entertaining, funny... It was great. But I wouldn't have called it stand-up. It's, yeah. So I don't know. Historical figures doing stand-up.
That's like a Marilyn Monroe is a good answer. I think she'd do well, you know.
I feel like someone...
I'm sure she made JFK laugh, and JFK's got a fantastic sense of humor. Well, Haddison's great.
Yeah.
You know, okay.
But yeah, I guess she's already like in a comedy space.
And you know what? She had all the attributes to be a great comedian. She had a troubling childhood. She's been messed over many, many times. But some of the greatest comedians come from a traumatic past or a traumatic upbringing.
Sometimes.
I think she had all the tools needed to actually be a very successful comedian. Okay, Emily, here's a fun question.
Yeah.
All right? We're going to go really think outside the box here. If there ever was a movie to be made about your life, who would you want to play you?
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, you know who? I just have been watching Morning Wars. I don't know if you've seen it.
Morning what?
Morning Wars.
Wars.
Morning Wars. Yeah, it's on Apple. It's got Reese Witherspoon in it. It's so good. She's so good. She's incredible. It's got if you haven't seen this show, it is incredible.
Well, I'm going to take a stab at this. I've never heard of the show, but Morning Wars. I've been married for 14 years. I had a war every morning. Is it about married couples getting?
No. It's about a morning TV show in America,
okay.
About like a sunrise style TV. I think it's called The Morning Show in America, actually, but I believe here they've called it Morning Wars because we have a show called The Morning Show.
Okay,
it's about the anchors. Steve Carell is in it, and he plays this like awful man. Like he's awful. So I don't think it's giving too much away. I don't know. Don't listen if you don't want to spoiler for the first couple of episodes of Morning Wars, which is it's so good. He's an anchor of the morning TV show with Jennifer Aniston. They're both excellent in it, and he gets Me Too'd. Quite like
the Me Too thing.
Yeah, and he's just this awful man. He's so manipulative, and like the whole show is about like how he is like awful. Like he's just awful, but boy, do I want to fuck him.
Like awful as in his personality, of how
the character,
or how awful he is at his job and what he does.
No, he's great at his job.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just the character is not a good person.
Okay.
And the whole time you're like, you're the bad guy, but boy, I would fuck you. Like, he's so good. Anyway, but Reese Witherspoon in that also is very. I'd probably say Reese Witherspoon, maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm very.
But I feel
very
like
aware of Reese Witherspoon.
If they were going to make a story out of my life, I don't think there's a movie yet to be made out of my life. Yeah, something else is going to have to happen.
This is one of those fantasy questions.
I know. Yeah, but I would say probably someone who we don't know about yet.
Okay.
And like maybe I don't know, some comedy.
Okay. Have you ever done trivia before? Comedy trivia?
Not comedy trivia. I did win an episode of the 1% Club. I'm very into like quizzes. Well, okay, but not comedy. What's comedy trivia?
Well, like, which comedian said this?
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to know any of these.
Probably not.
I don't remember my own jokes well enough.
Let's have some fun with it, okay? Which comedian said this? What's another word for a thesaurus? I find that line very funny.
That's a really funny line. I don't know, man.
Okay,
Who
the
said
one-liner comedian named Stephen Wright.
Okay, Stephen Wright, right.
Okay, another one-liner comedian said this. Who said this? An escalator can never break. It can only become stairs.
I feel like that's it feels like Norm Macdonaldy.
Close. I would say close, but it's Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Okay, maybe you'll get this one.
Is it Norm Macdonald?
Well, you already got that one right. Okay, you know what? You read my mind. I'm going to give you this one. Yes, Norm Macdonald said this. I once walked in on my parents having sex. It was the most embarrassing 30 minutes of my life. Okay. All right. We'll do one more?
All right.
Okay. Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. I'll give you a clue.
It feels like a woman said it.
I'll give you a clue. He can do amazing facial expressions.
Jim Carrey.
There you go. That's a big clue.
That's a pretty big clue.
But I have to give you that. I have to give you a clue. I need you to get. You got two right, actually. One, which was a preemptive. Correct.
Preemptive strike.
No, strike that you got correct.
Oh, good jokes though.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. You know, we'll do one. This is just to honor the other two that I came up with. You don't have to guess, but you can give it a try. Only two more. Why do they call it rush hour when nothing moves?
No, I got nothing. I'm sorry.
That's Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, that feels right.
And this one, anybody should be able to get. Okay. When I was born, I was so ugly the doctor slapped my mother. I don't get any respect.
I'm guessing. Is it Chappelle?
If my fictitious tie. I don't get no respect.
Oh, no.
You don't know who that is?
No, I don't know who that
Oh,
is.
wow. That's Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Emily, we have reached the conclusion part of our podcast where I like to ask you a series of 10 questions.
Okay.
All right. Short answers, you know. Try to be as brief as you can. If you want to elaborate, you can. But like a comedy special, don't go over a minute.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'll keep it brief.
Now, these questions were conducted and created by a man named James Lipton, who was an American writer/actor. And he would ask these 10 questions to every one of his guests at the end of his show. And I am picking up that tradition now that he's no longer with us. Emily, what is your favorite word?
Serendipity.
What is your least favorite word?
I have a toddler, so it's going to have to be no.
Okay. What turns you on?
Funny people.
What turns you off?
Rude people.
What is your favorite curse word?
Cunt.
You can't be Australian if you don't say cunt. All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, birds.
What is it?
Birds.
Birds.
Like birds in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Birds in the morning.
Oh, okay. So you love birds in the morning and you hate birds in the morning.
It depends. It depends if you're trying to sleep or you got stuff to do or if it's delightful. Both can be great or terrible.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would have liked to been a doctor.
What profession would you not like to do?
A lawyer.
And finally, Emily, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome. I like to be welcomed.
Okay, well, that's what you like to hear God say? Welcome. In that
I love being welcomed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So how was that questionnaire?
That was enjoyable.
It was fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to come up with 10 more that are the complete opposite of those kind of questions. You know, something that would be more controversial. But I haven't had the creativity yet to reach that goal because
Well, they're good
how can
questions.
I ask those questions without looking like a condescending prick? And I don't want to be that guy. I like to push the boundaries as far as I can. But I'm very happy with these questions. So I guess what I want to ask you now, Emily, is are you going to be part of this coming year's Fringe?
No, because I will have a 2 or 3 week old baby when the Fringe starts. So I'm doing a few bits and pieces around the place, but I'm not doing a solo show because that would be insane.
Well, Emily, I want to thank you for being on my show. You are the final guest in this year's show before the New Year's begins.
Thank you for having me.
Before I pick up again in January, you are now part of the Christmas special of the Magic Hour podcast. So I'd like to thank you for being here. And please, when you become rich and famous, do not forget about us and come back as a returning guest.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. And thanks. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did of The Magic Hour. Again, follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and on my YouTube at Magic and Dairy. And follow Emily Grace here on her channel. We'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This will be the last episode for the next few weeks. And thanks to people like you, Emily, and thanks to Blake, who started it as my first guest, I've been able to manage to get 1 episode every week for the last 3 months of comedy guests. I haven't missed a week in that time. And it's been thanks to people like you who were committed, who were dedicated, and who actually showed up. And I want to thank every guest that I've had for this year. This is the what they call it, season finale, not series finale. This is the season finale of the Magic Hour, and I want to thank everybody who's been watching since the first episode. Peace out.
I'm broke, bitch.